SUVs is the name of the game in the automotive industry right now, and Jeep is redesigning one of their most selling SUVs.
See how they've redesigned something you already love.
So which SUV are we talking about? If you're looking at the title of this video, we're talking about the Grand Cherokee. This will be the 5th generation of this vehicle. Like we said, it's one of the more popular SUVs outside of the Wrangler, if you count that in the SUV category, I guess. It's weird, you know, because no other SUV looks like that.
I mean, Jeep doesn't exactly go by everybody else's standards, but in this situation they do. This is a 3-row SUV available for anybody that wants to buy a Jeep product versus anyone else.
Yeah, and to make this distinction different, so in the past the Grand Cherokee has been 2 rows. We've reviewed one of our buddies' Grand Cherokees in the past before, 4th generation. This one, the Grand Cherokee L for large, probably, will be the 3-row option.
Right, and I think that's something you see similar with, you know, GMC has the Yukon, and they put on the Yukon L is another way they've done it.
XL.
Sorry, XL.
Oh, extra large.
And you also, I mean, it's not the same thing, but you see it in like bigger sedans in the luxury market where you have the Audi A8L and you also have the BMW 750iL. So it's like something where you see giant things. They do get their nice notoriety with the L in the end.
Large and in charge.
Yeah, so instead of coming up with another creative name, L, make it easy. That marketing medium was like, L, move on, pass it on. Right. But like my question is, we talked about the Grand Wagoneer in a past video. Why make the Grand Wagoneer this luxurious 3-row SUV and then make the Grand Cherokee L? I guess it's just like the cheaper version, the cheaper 3-row you can get. Because we're seeing, or what's expected pricing to start below 40 for base trims, and you can get these puppies up probably close to the 60 mark. Right. Whereas the Grand Wagoneer, I think, is going to be starting at that 60 mark or somewhere pretty up there.
Well, I mean, to be honest, Jacob, I kind of see it going in the same direction you see the Cadillac Escalade living within the same world as like a Tahoe or a Yukon, where we have these bigger SUVs, and how do you differentiate between an Escalade that does have 3 rows and a Yukon XL? Well, I mean, at the end of the day, it might just be based on available luxury features, you know, stuff like that. I know we haven't really quite seen the fruition of the Wagoneer, but I do expect the Grand Cherokee L to be something we see sooner rather than later. I mean, considering that the Grand Cherokee is getting a redesign, and I did like the previous generation, like we've reviewed our buddies, but I do think this is a good move for them. But back to Jacob's point, based on the price point, we are expecting this thing to be carrying over the same powertrains that the current Grand Cherokee has, which is between a 3.6 liter V6 and a 5.7 liter V8.
Yeah, so the 2 more common engines that Jeep is putting into the vehicles, like that makes sense. I say I give it 1 model year before we put a 6.4 or a Hellcat into it like we're doing everything else, but...
The SRT version of it?
SRT Grand Cherokee L.
Right. I mean, and it was just a matter of time before we saw Jeep actually step into this market. There's a lot of money to be made. I mean, you see Hyundai doing it with the Palisade. We see Kia doing it with the Telluride. We also see, you know, Volkswagen, the Atlas. You name them. Ford Expedition, Max. Gosh, I mean, everybody's got one, and it was really weird. Jeep's still pretty successful, and they did not have that. They even came out with the Jeep Gladiator, a Wrangler truck, before they had a 3-row SUV. So
yeah, to me that's crazy, because I mean they've had 3-row SUVs in the past before, like the Commander, but that's been so long since they've had a 3-row SUV. Like if I had to imagine, that was probably like 2010, 2012 maybe or something. But yeah, you're talking about Compasses, Renegades, they're like smaller crossovers. Wrangler, of course, is
Liberty,
they had even
Patriot.
that, all kinds of stuff. But
I actually don't know how they all had those coexist at the same time when they kind of were a reiteration of each other, but sorry to you, Jeep.
The Jeep Red, White, and Blue, the Jeep 4th of July special.
But, I mean, besides that, we're excited to see where Jeep does go with this, because, I mean, there is a ton of 3-row SUVs being sold right now. That is a huge market a lot of market share to be had. If that's something that interests you, go ahead and let us know in the comments section below. Let us know on our social media. We can't wait for these to start appearing at dealerships so we can actually go get a physical look at them and give you guys a closer in look on them as well.
Oh yes, they look pretty promising. So we like the way they look, like the way what it sounds like on paper, so we'll have to see what happens when we actually get to see them in person. But that'll wrap up this episode with us. That's Gulf Coast Gearheads signing off.